Lin Jing did so, also because he himself was a 5 elements mixed spirit root. His upgrade speed was already slower. If he consumed other elixir medicines, allowing pill poison to accumulate in his body, causing the effects of other elixirs to decline, then Lin Jing would have nowhere to cry. It must be known, even with the use of pure accumulation elixirs, one cannot completely eliminate the pill poison accumulated in the body. The most important thing was that Lin Jing had the conditions to do so. He was now a 3rd-rank alchemist, with a 20% chance of producing pure elixir medicines when refining 2nd-rank elixirs. This chance was already not low. Basically, if lucky, he could roughly produce 1 pure elixir every day. If others knew that his pure elixir medicine refinement rate was so high, they'd probably have captured him and studied him carefully long ago. After swallowing the elixir, Lin Jing mobilized the spiritual power within his body and then began to meditate with eyes closed. And so, time slowly passed. Before long, Lin Jing could feel the barrier that prevented his breakthrough. Then, Lin Jing operated his spiritual power, aiming it at that bottleneck. Once, twice, thrice, Lin Jing struck against it time and time again, but after numerous continuous attempts, the bottleneck showed not the slightest sign of loosening. Lin Jing then opened his eyes and took out a pure gathering yuan pill from his storage bag to swallow. As soon as the pill entered his mouth, it transformed into a warm current that flowed down his throat into the dantian in his lower abdomen. Then, Lin Jing only felt a boom, as an enormous amount of spiritual power burst forth inside his body in an instant. Lin Jing hurriedly closed his eyes and operated his cultivation technique to absorb that spiritual power. Another hour went by, and this time, the spiritual power inside Lin Jing's body surged. Then, with complete confidence, he operated his cultivation technique, charging at that bottleneck once more. Once, twice, thrice, with a bottleneck that had been hindering Lin Jing slowly cracking and then shattering. Lin Jing finally succeeded, breaking through to the 2nd layer of foundation establishment. Afterward, the system prompt finally came belatedly. System prompt: congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through the realm. Reward obtained, 20 harvest points. Having finally succeeded in breaking through, Lin Jing took a long breath. Then, operating his cultivation technique, he felt the spiritual power in his meridians had grown much stronger compared to before. After feeling the change, Lin Jing then spoke up, summoning the system interface. Soon, a system interface appeared before Lin Jing. System space, level 3, upgradable. Remaining time, 162 hours, accumulatable, 300 hours. Host, Lin Jing. Spirit field range, 30 mu. Spiritual energy concentration, 3. Time flow speed, 3. Daily entry time, 6 hours. Upgrade requirement, 2,000/2,000 harvest points. Special functions: alert, observe, time accumulation for seasons, environmental landscape, spirit plant restoration, additive possession. Now, he could basically gain around 200 harvest points every month from alchemy. Now, alchemy had become his main source of harvest points. Relying on mature spirit plants to gain harvest points was simply too slow. During this time, Lin Jing had been ceaselessly conducting alchemy, and the harvest points he obtained were truly not few. Plus, the 20 harvest points rewarded for his breakthrough just now. It was exactly enough to gather 2,000 harvest points, and the system could now be upgraded. After that, without any hesitation, Lin Jing chose to upgrade the system space. After Lin Jing selected to upgrade the system space, he was transported out. This time, it was uncertain how long the system space would take to upgrade. Next, with no way to enter the system space, Lin Jing had nothing else to do, although he could continue to meditate and cultivate. But after experiencing the rich spiritual energy within the system space, the great disparity of cultivating outside made it difficult for him to settle down. Of course, the main reason was still that Lin Jing now was not short on time. Plus, he had just broken through recently. So, Lin Jing wanted to take some time to relax. Afterward, Lin Jing headed to the courtyard to ponder for a moment before making a decision. Since there was nothing to do at the moment, he might as well go look for Huang Qingling. Then, just like last time, he let Little Sparrow call over Li Tongyu and his sister. Finally, he would get Li Tongyu drunk again. See if he could, from that drunkard's babbling, coax out some useful information again. Thinking this, Lin Jing then set out. Lin Jing's small courtyard was very close to the one where Huang Qingling lived. He didn't walk many steps out the door before he arrived at the entrance of Huang Qingling's courtyard. Afterward, Lin Jing stepped forward. Knock, knock, knock. He knocked on the courtyard gate. Is Taoist Qingling at home? Lin Jing called out. No sooner had Lin Jing's voice fallen than there was movement inside. However, it wasn't Huang Qingling, but Little Sparrow. Next, Lin Jing heard a voice down from the sky. Then he lifted his head and saw Little Sparrow flying out of the courtyard. Following that, Little Sparrow fluttered its wings and landed directly on Lin Jing's shoulder. Ubala, Ubala. The voice came from beside his own ear. Lin Jing looked at Little Sparrow in surprise. Little Sparrow, you can talk, Lin Jing said to the little bird. He remembered that Little Sparrow could only say the words robbery before, but now it could articulate the 3 words Ubala as well. It seemed Huang Qingling probably hadn't neglected teaching it. Little Sparrow then lifted its head with a look of pride. Little Sparrow, are you saying that Taoist Qingling has gone to Ubala? Lin Jing continued to ask. After hearing this, Little Sparrow nodded. Then do you know when Taoist Qingling left? Lin Jing began to ask, but suddenly stopped and shook his head, chuckling to himself. This Little Sparrow, no matter how clever, is just a demonic beast. How could it possibly understand so much? And even if it really knew, it couldn't express it. However, what Little Sparrow did next took Lin Jing by surprise. Little Sparrow tilted its head in thought for a while, then opened its mouth and called out. Very long. Lin Jing's eyes brightened as he turned to Little Sparrow and spoke. Little Sparrow, do you mean to say that Taoist Qingling has been gone for a very long time? Very long, very long. Little Sparrow flapped its wings and nodded incessantly. This intelligence of Little Sparrow truly made Lin Jing take another look. Since you can understand that, what about something a bit more difficult? Lin Jing's curiosity was piqued. Then he asked Little Sparrow once more. Little Sparrow. As Lin Jing's voice trailed off, Little Sparrow quieted down. Tilting its head, it refocused on Lin Jing. Do you know what Taoist Qingling went to do at Ubala? This question, Lin Jing reckoned, might pose quite a challenge for Little Sparrow. After speaking, Lin Jing stared at Little Sparrow, waiting for its response. Indeed, the question had indeed stumped Little Sparrow. Little Sparrow tilted its head and started to think. This time's thinking took much longer than before. After a long while, Little Sparrow finally lifted its head again, looking at Lin Jing, and blurted out 2 words. Find white. Looking for by? Lin Jing was startled, then suddenly came back to his senses. Elderby? Could it be that Elderby and Elder you are back? Just as Lin Jing was contemplating this, the familiar voice of Huang Qingling rang out from behind him. Lin Jing, what brings you here? Are you looking for me? Great. I was just about to look for you too. Now it saves me the trouble. Lin Jing turned around and saw Huang Qingling walking towards him. At this moment, Huang Qingling was dressed in a light green plain gauze dress, draped with an exquisite embroidered shawl. Through the thin outer layer, her fair skin was faintly visible, and with her face, which retained a hint of girlish beauty, it was hard for one to take their eyes off. Even Lin Jing couldn't help but marvel. Huang Qingling indeed was heaven's favored child. Heaven not only granted her outstanding cultivation talent, but even bestowed upon her such stunning beauty. It made everyone envious. At this time, even Little Sparrow left Lin Jing's shoulder and flew towards Huang Qingling. Confronted with Lin Jing's gaze, Huang Qingling didn't show any sign of discomfort. Instead, she walked openly towards him. How is it? Isn't it appealing? It has left you speechless. Huang Qingling walked up and teased Lin Jing. In the face of Huang Qingling's teasing, Lin Jing responded quite seriously. You are indeed beautiful, fellow Taoist Qingling. But what I envy more is your cultivation talent. Yes, Huang Qingling's cultivation talent was genuinely high, which made Lin Jing extremely envious. Blockhead, Huang Qingling gave Lin Jing a reproachful look, then spoke. Forget about that. What do you need from me? Lin Jing looked at Huang Qingling and replied, I've just finished refining pills and wanted to relax a bit. So I came over here to see if Li and the others were busy and maybe we could get together. I see. Huang Qingling spoke and then said, Unfortunately, I have something to do today, so we can't gather. Let's do it another time, including you as well. Huang Qingling looked at Lin Jing with a mischievous smile and said, I hereby declare that you, the great chef, are being summoned once again. Elder Bai and Elder you are back, right? Lin Jing spoke. Huang Qingling was taken aback and looked at Lin Jing incredulously. No way. How did you know? They've only just arrived at Fong Market. Lin Jing looked towards Little Sparrow on Huang Qingling's shoulder and said, You have quite the talent for beast taming, fellow Taoist Qingling. Maybe you should consider being a beast tamer in the future. By this point, Huang Qingling also realized what was going on. Then, she reached out to grab Little Sparrow on her shoulder and brought it in front of her eyes. She looked menacingly at Little Sparrow and said, It was you who snitched, wasn't it? Little Sparrow buried its head in its chest, not daring to meet Huang Qingling's eyes. However, Huang Qingling didn't truly mean to reprimand Little Sparrow. After a moment, she placed Little Sparrow back on her shoulder. And then, she said to Lin Jing, Yes, indeed, Old Man Bai and Elder Yu, the two of them have returned. They're now at Ubela, and they've already arranged to come over tonight. So, they asked me to call you over to cook a big meal. Elder Yu also said he's been out for several months and specifically missed the dishes you make. Luckily, you came by yourself, which saves me the trouble of calling you. All right then, a welcome feast for Elder Bai and Elder Yu. I am more than happy to do it. Lin Jing readily agreed. Right, Qingling. Did you prepare the ingredients? I just arrived and didn't prepare anything. If you haven't prepared, we can go together to get some now. Huang Qingling's mouth quirked as she said, Don't worry. I have prepared everything a long time ago. Indeed. Lin Jing then thought of Huang Qingling's foodie personality and said no more. Let's go then. With that, Huang Qingling led the way to the small courtyard. Lin Jing followed Huang Qingling into the courtyard as well. Once there, they didn't enter the living room, but turned directly into the kitchen. Huang Qingling took out the purchased ingredients from her storage bag and then said to Lin Jing, The rest is up to you. No rush. They have some matters to attend to and might arrive later. All right. Lin Jing nodded and began to get busy. After a while, he had processed all the ingredients. Then he looked up at the sky. The orange-red twilight had already spread across the horizon. It was already getting late. And then he started playing the role of head chef. Before he knew it, night had fallen. By the time Lin Jing had served the last dish, both Elder Bai and Elder Yu had still not arrived. Fortunately, these dishes could be directly enveloped with spiritual power to prevent the heat from escaping. He wasn't worried about the food getting cold. Afterward, Lin Jing and Huang Qingling chatted idly, waiting for Elder Bai and Elder Yu. Less than half an hour later, there was a knock at the door. They're here. Upon hearing the knock, Huang Qingling got up and made her way outside. Lin Jing did the same, rising and following Huang Qingling. They reached the courtyard entrance, and Huang Qingling reached out to open the door. There they saw Elder Bai and Elder Yu. Elder Bai looked the same as ever, but Elder Yu was different. Elder Yu appeared younger than before, and the aura he exuded was worlds apart from the past. No doubt, this was the difference between a golden core cultivator and a foundation establishment cultivator. Previously, Elder Yu had just advanced to golden core, and his realm was not yet stable, so it wasn't very apparent. Now, with time past, Elder Yu's realm had stabilized, making him seem like a different person. Upon seeing them, Huang Qingling spoke up. Old Man Bai, Old Man Yu, you've finally arrived. We've been waiting for you two for a long time. Meanwhile, Lin Jing greeted them with a clasped hand salute, saying, Elder Bai, Elder Yu, you're back. Elder Bai nodded at Lin Jing as usual. And Elder Yu, smiling, said to Lin Jing, Lin lad, I've missed your cooking for such a long time. At this point, Huang Qingling spoke up to Elder Yu. Old man Yu, while you've been outside, all you thought about was Lin Jing's cooking and not me? Elder Yu chuckled and said, Of course I missed you. Really? Huang Qingling eyed Elder Yu skeptically. Of course. Elder Yu said with a smile. I've even got a gift for you. A gift? Huang Qingling's eyes suddenly lit up. Come on, let's go inside and talk. Yes, yes. Huang Qingling nodded repeatedly. With that, the two of them guided Elder Bai and Elder Yu inside. Afterwards, the group entered the house and took their seats. With a wave of his hand, Lin Jing dispelled the spiritual power that had been keeping the food warm, and instantly pleasant aromas filled the air. Huang Qingling couldn't wait to ask Elder Yu, Old man Yu, where's the gift you said you were going to give me? Elder Yu laughed heartily. Huh, don't worry, you won't miss out. As he spoke, he took out a jade pendant from his storage bag and handed it to Huang Qingling. Here, your gift. A jade pendant. As Huang Qingling said this, she reached out and accepted it. After taking the jade pendant, she held it, turning it over to examine it closely. A moment later, Huang Qingling looked up and questioned Elder Yu. What function does this jade pendant have? At that moment, Elder Bai spoke up. Defensive function. Huang Qingling's little face wrinkled as she said, Ah, another jade pendant with a defensive function. I already have several jade pendants with defensive functions on me. I always feel they're not as good as magical treasures with offensive abilities. Huang Qingling complained. You really don't know how lucky you are, Elder Bai said, shaking his head helplessly. You should know that for others, obtaining a defensive magical treasure is as difficult as ascending to the heavens. But I feel always being on the defensive is kind of boring. Facing an enemy, it's better to take the initiative to attack. Huang Qingling expressed her own thoughts. Upon hearing Huang Qingling's words, Lin Jing suddenly turned his head, looking at her incredulously. All this time, Lin Jing had never expected that Huang Qingling would also be a warmonger. Meanwhile, Elder Bai and Elder Yu were not surprised at all, as if they had known this all along. Elder Yu then spoke up directly. This magical treasure is different. It can also be considered an offensive magical treasure. Interest rekindled. Huang Qingling leaned forward eagerly and hurriedly asked, How is it different? Come on, tell me. This jade pendant not only can defend, but it can also counterattack those who sneak attack you, Elder Yu explained. Counterattack? Can it attack proactively? Huang Qingling asked skeptically. No. Elder Yu shook his head. Then that's boring. Huang Qingling sounded clearly disappointed. Keep it. This was specially selected for you by Elder Yu. You might need it in a while, Elder Bai interjected. You might need it in a while, Elder Bai interjected. Upon hearing this, Lin Jing looked up, puzzled, at Elder Bai. Huang Qingling might need it. She's always in Fong Market and rarely goes out. Under normal circumstances, she wouldn't need a defensive-type magical treasure, would she? Lin Jing was somewhat confused. Even Huang Qingling was bemused at this moment, clearly unaware of why Elder Bai would say such a thing. I don't go out for training. How would I need it? Soon, Elder Bai spoke again. If there are no surprises, the demon race secret realm will open before long. When that time comes, I would like you to go in and gain some experience. Demon race secret realm? Old man Bai, come on, tell us more. As soon as she heard about the demon race secret realm, Huang Qingling was clearly very interested. Lin Jing felt the same. Elder Bai, however, slightly furrowed his brows, as if he didn't want to say too much. It seems that this matter should be confidential at this stage, so Elder Bai seems hesitant, Lin Jing thought to himself. Afterward, Lin Jing picked up the wine jug from the table and poured a cup for each person. This fine wine was not like the ingredients that were easy to store. There was also no need to worry about it spoiling. Therefore, Lin Jing always carried it with him. As Elder Yu caught the scent of the wine, he couldn't wait to lift his cup and drank it down in one gulp. After that, Elder Yu let out a contented sigh. As expected, It's this Qinghua drunk that suits my taste the best. Having finished, Elder Yu then said to Elder Bai, Elder Bai, you should tell them. These two youngsters know what's at stake and won't leak it out recklessly. Lin Jing and Huang Qingling both nodded repeatedly. Rest assured, old man Bai, we won't go around spreading rumors. Lin Jing then refilled Elder Yu's wine cup. After that, he put down the wine pot and looked towards Elder Bai. Seeing that both of them were interested in this matter, Elder Bai also began to speak. The results of this negotiation are expected to come out soon. As far as I know, the Qingyuan sword sect has compromised and decided to open the entrance to the demon race secret realm, allowing other forces to enter as well. Elder Bai, could it really be like the rumors outside say, that there are many treasures inside that secret realm? Lin Jing asked curiously. Elder Bai nodded and said, there are some, but it's not as exaggerated as the rumors suggest. Indeed, there are various high-level spirit plants inside, but it's also extremely dangerous. Even with the strength of the Qingyuan sword sect, many have been injured inside. In fact, one golden core stage elder even died in there. Huang Qingling suddenly exclaimed, is it really that dangerous inside? Elder Yu interjected from the side. Of course, secret realms are never absolutely safe. Huang Qingling pouted and said, then, old man Bai, you still suggest I go in for trials. Elder Yu spoke again. After this negotiation, our Iyun Pavilion will definitely send people in as well. I was thinking of including you in the team to gain some experience. But don't worry, if you go in, you might be led by me or Elder Yu. With us there, we won't let anything happen to you. Oh, if you're also going with us, then there's no problem. Huang Qingling seemed very happy. Sometime later, Elder Bai also picked up his wine cup and downed it in one gulp. Seeing this, Lin Jing hurriedly refilled Elder Bai's wine cup. After finishing the cup of wine, Elder Bai continued to speak. There's another matter. What matter? Huang Qingling asked. The two of them, like curious babies, looked at Elder Bai. After the negotiations are over, Nanshan Fong Market will expand. After this expansion, it will no longer be Nanshan Fong Market, but Nanshan Immortal City. Nanshan Immortal City. Lin Jing and Huang Qingling exclaimed in unison. Yes. Elder Bai nodded affirmatively. Is it because of the demon race secret realm? Lin Jing asked with doubt. Yes, Elder Bai replied. A demon race secret realm can turn a Fong market into an immortal city. That seems a bit too exaggerated. Lin Jing was quite puzzled by this, considering the current population of Nanshan Fong market was large. But in Lin Jing's opinion, after a while, when there's no profit to be made, a good portion of the people gathered at the Fong market would likely leave. By that time, the entire Fong market's population would return to something similar to before. If that's the case, expanding Nanshan Fong market into an immortal city would seem quite inappropriate. Elder Yu noticed Lin Jing's confusion and began to explain. Lin lad, you probably don't know much about the Naming domain, do you? Hearing what Elder Yu said, Lin Jing nodded and replied, indeed, aside from this Nanshan Fong market, all I know are the nearest few immortal cities. I'm completely ignorant about the other places in the Naming domain. Me too. At this time, Huang Qingling also moved closer and spoke. Sigh. Elder Yu sighed with a hint of helplessness, then said, it seems I need to introduce you to the general context of the Naming domain first. Please tell us, Elder Yu. Lin Jing then sat up straight and listened attentively. Elder Yu nodded and continued. Do you know the other name for the Naming domain? We don't know. Lin Jing and Huang Qingling both shook their heads as they looked towards Elder Yu. Seeing them shake their heads, Elder Yu went straight to the point. South State Netherworld domain. It's not the Ming of tomorrow, but the Ming of the Netherworld. South Ming domain. Upon hearing this name, Lin Jing's brows furrowed. This name, just listening to it, made one uncomfortable. Elder Yu saw the change in their expressions, but did not explain immediately. Instead, he continued. Apart from the South Ming domain, there is also the Eastern Spirit Realm, the Western Demon Region, and the Northern Devil Region. Moreover, there is the demonic monster sea between the four domains. This is the sum of all territories within our cultivation world. From their names, you can probably tell what each of the 4 domains is like. Thereafter, Elder Yu looked at Lin Jing and Huang Qingling and said, I'll explain one by one. If you ever have the chance to leave the South Ming domain in the future, it's better to be prepared in advance. Hearing Elder Yu say this, Lin Jing and Huang Qingling both sat up straight and listened intently. First off, the Eastern Spirit Realm. The Eastern Spirit Realm has the richest spiritual energy in the entire cultivation world, inhabited by many powerful sects and cultivators. Even more than 70% of the top cultivators in the entire cultivation world are in the Eastern Spirit Realm. Those powerful cultivators, any one of them coming out could easily sweep through the entire cultivation community of the South Ming domain. Having discussed the Eastern Spirit Realm, let's talk about the Western Demon region. As the name suggests, the majority of inhabitants in the Western Demon region are demon cultivators. The whole Western Demon region has become a paradise for demon cultivators. However, although it is the main base of the demon cultivators, there is still a portion of human cultivators living there, continuously contending against the demon cultivators there. And furthermore, the strength of the top cultivators in the Western Demon region is not weak compared to those in the Eastern Spirit Realm. Otherwise, they could not have contended with the demon cultivators there for so long. It's just that, although the strength of the top cultivators in the Western Demon region is nearly on par with those in the Eastern Spirit Realm, in terms of the number of top cultivators, they cannot compare with the Eastern Spirit Realm. Next up is the Northern Devil region. It goes without saying that most cultivators living there are demon cultivators. Those demon cultivators practice various demonic techniques and are usually cruel, bloodthirsty individuals. Therefore, there are hardly any rules in the entire Northern Devil region. It is extremely chaotic. The law of survival of the fittest is fully exemplified in the Northern Devil region. Only at the very heart of the Northern Devil region does a mysterious and extremely powerful demon lord exist, controlling most areas of the Devil region. In his governed territory, everything obeys his command. Besides the aforementioned 3 domains, there is also the demonic monster sea, located between the 4 domains. The demonic monster sea is filled with a mix of fishes and dragons, exceptionally chaotic. Here, strength is paramount, and its level of chaos rivals that of the Northern Devil region. Moreover, most people there are of a sly and cunning nature. Do not think of entering the demonic monster sea before you have sufficient strength. Otherwise, once you step in, a moment's carelessness may lead to complete annihilation. Having said so much, perhaps because his throat was dry, Elder Yu picked up his cup and drained it in one gulp. No sooner had Elder Yu put down his cup than Lin Jing hurriedly grabbed the wine pot and refilled Elder Yu's cup. Elder Yu, what about the rest? Isn't it time for our South Ming domain? Eager, Huang Qingling quickly asked. Right? Elder Yu started. Now, the last to discuss is our own South Ming domain. After speaking, Elder Yu looked at Lin Jing and Huang Qingling and asked, Do you know why our South Ming domain is called as such? I do not know. Lin Jing and Huang Qingling spoke in unison, shaking their heads like rattles. Elder Yu looked at the two, taunting with a smile. I think you definitely don't know either, so let me tell you. Both of them nodded eagerly. Then Elder Yu continued. Because, in our southern Nether region, the most abundant are not cultivators or mortals, but Een spirits. The Een spirits of the entire southern Nether region outnumber cultivators by tens of times. Ah, how could this be? How come I've never heard of this before? Huang Qingling was extremely surprised, and even Lin Jing was dumbstruck. Een spirits, they are what cultivators or living beings turn into when they die. The conditions for the formation of Een spirits are exceptionally strict. Ordinary cultivators or living beings, when they die, usually do not turn into Een spirits. Only those beings with particularly deep grudges or obsessions have a certain chance of becoming Een spirits upon death. Of course, there are also some special places or methods that can forcibly transform the deceased into Een spirits. And the strength of Een spirits is not weak, especially those cultivators who are quite powerful in life. Once they become Een spirits, they will be even stronger than before. So, some cultivators think of using evil methods to kill other cultivators and then try to turn them into Een spirits. Afterward, they attempt to control these Een spirits to become a means for their own battles. But Een spirits are not easy to control. And once their master is injured and their control diminishes, Een spirits might turn on their master at any moment. So gradually, not many people thought of raising Een spirits anymore. Elder you say there are so many Een spirits in the southern Nether region. Why have we never seen them? Huang Qingling asked, puzzled, turning her question to Elder Yu. Elder Yu looked at Huang Qingling and replied, of course you wouldn't see them, because these Een spirits are all trapped in the same place. Huang Qingling exclaimed in surprise. There's such a place that can trap Een spirits? Elder Yu responded, of course, and this place is the barren Forbidden Zone. It was only on this trip back from my report that I learned of this matter, which is probably hard to know unless one reaches the Golden Core stage. Then, Elder Yu sighed. Continuing, he said, I also found out by perusing the ancient records left in the Yiyun Pavilion. The area where we live doesn't even account for 1/10 of the entire southern Nether region, because over 90% of the southern Nether region has turned into the barren Forbidden Zone. It is said that in the ancient era, who knows how many tens of thousands of years ago, an accident occurred in our cultivation world, and a primordial evil creature from somewhere broke through the realm barrier and fell into the cultivation world. Coincidentally, this primordial evil creature landed directly above the southern Nether region. It was that terrible thing that turned over 90% of the southern Nether region directly into the barren Forbidden Zone. And under the shroud of that evil creature, all the beings in over 90% of the southern Nether region perished in an instant. You must know that is over 90% of the southern Nether region, with hundreds of billions of lives. All died in that catastrophe. Only a few extremely lucky cultivators with special methods barely escaped from that disaster. The most terrifying part is, all those beings, without exception, were turned into Een spirits by that primordial evil creature. And after becoming Een spirits, these Een spirits are forever barred from reincarnation, only to be endlessly controlled by that evil creature. Lin Jing and Huang Qingling were stunned after hearing that. The shock to them was so intense that they couldn't recover their senses up to now. They didn't expect that the South Ming realm would actually have such a secret. Elder Yu didn't pay attention to the two, who were shocked into stillness, and continued. Even that evil being absorbed all the spiritual energy of the South Ming realm as its nourishment. Over time, the spiritual energy of the South Ming realm became thinner, and even the cultivation resources also became extremely scarce. Some people, unwilling to stay here, took their entire sect and relocated to one of the other 3 realms, or even to the demonic monster sea. And those sects that were unwilling to leave and stayed here gradually declined in this environment where the spiritual energy was thinning. You should know, the South Ming realm used to be called the South Ming realm. Its strength across the entire realm wasn't much less compared to the current Eastern Spirit realm. But that catastrophe has turned the whole South Ming realm into a dead realm. Some people speculate that this unrivaled evil being actually came from the Immortal realm, but no one could approach it. No one had seen its true face, so it remains an unsolvable mystery. Of course, over these countless years, there have been people who tried to enter the barren Forbidden Zone, intending to find out the truth. But those people, no matter how well prepared they were before, not one person was able to come out alive. So now you know why a demon race secret realm could attract so many cultivators to come here, right? Because almost all of the various secret realms in the South Ming realm are within the barren Forbidden Zone. The cultivation resources of the South Ming realm are too scarce. I understand. Lin Jing nodded. After listening to Elder Yu's narrative, Lin Jing felt shocked and found it hard to accept. Who would have thought that the South Ming realm could have encountered such a catastrophe? The countless lives of the entire South Ming realm had perished in an instant when disaster struck, and those souls couldn't even enter the cycle of rebirth, suffering eternally. After Elder finished, his mood didn't seem to be very good either. He lifted his cup and drank it all in one gulp. Lin Jing was still thinking about what Elder had mentioned and hadn't been able to react. "Lin lad, pour the wine." It was Elder Yu's words that startled Lin Jing back to awareness. Lin Jing quickly grabbed the wine jug and poured another cup for Elder Yu. At this moment, Elder Yu spoke. "Kid, you better not think about it anymore. This kind of disaster isn't something we can comprehend. You must know, the recorded cultivators who've entered the barren forbidden zone to seek the truth all had at least reached the transcendence tribulation stage in their cultivation. They were helpless in the face of it, so it's even more impractical for us to talk about. Let's talk about something else." Huang Qingling also recovered her senses by this time and said, "Yes, let's talk about something else." But her expression was still somewhat absent-minded. Following that, Elder Yu reached into his storage bag, searching for something. After a moment, he took out a jade slip from the storage bag and handed it to Lin Jing. "Lin lad, take this, it's a gift for you." "Another gift for me?" Lin Jing didn't react at first. "Nonsense. I brought a gift for Qingling, of course there's one for you too. Hurry up and take it." "Oh, okay." Lin Jing came to his senses, quickly reached out, and took the jade slip from Elder Yu's hand. Huang Qingling also calmed her emotions and hurriedly leaned over to look at the jade slip, asking Elder Yu, "What is this?" Elder Yu said, "A cultivation technique. Divine Fire Triple Relevant. This cultivation technique has no grade. It's an extraordinary technique for controlling your own fire, incredibly powerful when used, especially for alchemists. This Divine Fire Triple Realm was researched by the families of the ancient alchemy path, specifically for controlling fire. It is much more powerful than the fire control techniques you're using now, Lin lad." Elder Yu looked toward Lin Jing and said, "And he can also enhance the power of his own flames, using them as fire spells in battle, where their power is extremely formidable. Even when spell-casting cultivators of the same realm duel, he can hold his own without falling behind. If one can cultivate the Divine Fire Triple Realm to the third realm, even when facing cultivators with higher cultivation, one would still stand a chance to fight. Of course, cultivating the third realm of the Divine Fire Triple Realm is not easy. Even the Grand Elder of Iyun Pavilion has only cultivated to the second realm. After you go back, you must study it thoroughly. Once you've mastered it, even just the first realm of the Divine Fire Triple Realm will allow you to concoct elixir medicines with much more ease." "Yes, I understand." Lin Jing nodded and said, "Thank you, Elder Yu." Elder Yu waved his hand, saying, "What's all this? Come, let's drink." Having said that, the group raised their glasses. After swallowing a cup of wine, Elder Yu picked up a dish from the table and began to eat heartily. When he finished, he kept praising, "Kid, your culinary skills have improved since I last saw you." "Not bad, not bad," Lin Jing said. "Elder Yu, if you like it, I can cook for you every day." Elder Yu shook his head and said, "Delicacies should be enjoyed occasionally. If you eat them every day, you're likely to grow tired of them." Okay. Whenever you want to eat, I'll cook for you," Lin Jing said. Afterward, the group continued to eat and chat, consuming several more cups of wine. At that moment, Elder Bai turned to Lin Jing and said, "We're aware of the issue with Steward Zheng targeting you. He is such a person intolerant of any slight. I hope you won't take it to heart." "Don't worry, Elder Bai, I understand," Lin Jing replied hastily. In fact, from an incident with Steward Zheng targeting him, Lin Jing guessed that someone knew of his temperament, and that someone had understood Lin Jing's alchemy skills to some extent. Thus, they used Steward Zheng to set him up. However, in the beginning, Lin Jing didn't understand Steward Zheng's character. Therefore, misunderstandings arose. But as time went on, the character of Steward Zheng was witnessed by Lin Jing, who turned out to be a person of integrity. After Lin Jing realized this, he naturally understood everything. Elderby nodded and continued. But you indeed did well. I thought it would take you a while to complete Eubela's offering priest task on your own. I didn't expect that in just a few months, your level in the alchemy Tao would rise to such an extent. You have truly impressed me. Lin Jing was somewhat flattered, as it was the first time Elderby had praised him. Lin Jing hurriedly clasped his hands. You flatter me too much, Elderby. At this point, Elder Yu, who was sitting nearby, also looked toward Lin Jing with a puzzled face and asked, Right, Lin lad, how did you manage it? freewebnovel.com. How could you complete the Pill Master offering priest task so quickly? After saying this, Elder Yu didn't forget to turn to Elderby and boast. See, I told you, he's a natural-born alchemy genius. His talent in the alchemy Tao is not far from that of Li Tongyu. All right, you're right. Elderby replied helplessly to Elder Yu's smugness. Lin Jing bowed with his hands clasped together and addressed Elderby and Elder Yu. I must return the compliment to Elderby. Elder Yu, it was just during a previous alchemy session that I had a sudden enlightenment, and it was after that moment of enlightenment that my alchemy skills began to advance by leaps and bounds. Additionally, there was the guidance of Li Tongyu, brotherly. That's how I managed to complete Eubela's offering assignment on my own. Without that enlightenment or Brother Li's pointers, I could never have progressed so rapidly, no matter what. After hearing this, the two nodded. With Li Tongyu being a third-rank alchemist, his guidance indeed could help you greatly. However, the fact that you had a sudden enlightenment also shows your diligent effort in usual times. Without a certain level of accumulation, that enlightenment simply wouldn't have occurred. Then, Elder Yu continued speaking to Lin Jing. The hurdle of becoming a second-rank pill master isn't easy to overcome, and you might stay at this stage for a very long time. I myself was stuck at this very stage for decades. Nevertheless, I believe, with your natural talent in the alchemy Tao, this obstacle won't hold you back for too long. Don't be in any rush. Just continue with alchemy as you've been doing all along. And when the time comes, you'll naturally make the breakthrough. I understand, Elder Yu. Lin Jing nodded in response. Afterward, Elder Yu began to talk about his experiences at Iyun Pavilion during this period. Lin Jing and Huang Qingling listened intently. It wasn't until Z-time that the group, having eaten and drunk their fill, departed. Before leaving, Elder Yu gave a special exhortation. He asked Lin Jing to come and learn from him for a while, as he wasn't too busy lately and would personally teach Lin Jing for some time. Lin Jing and Huang Qingling saw off Elderby and Elder Yu at the door. After that, Lin Jing returned to help Huang Qingling clean up the bowls and chopsticks. Once everything was in order, Lin Jing left Huang Qingling's place. He arrived back at his own residence, entered his room, and immediately began to meditate and rest. Moreover, to prevent being disturbed by sudden system prompts, Lin Jing did not immerse himself completely while meditating. Instead, he always reserved a bit of his attention to monitor any external movements. However, that night, no system prompt came, until it was light. Lin Jing went to find Elder Yu and spent some time at Elder Yu's place, listening to him explain some knowledge about medicinal herbs. It was only past noon that he returned from Elder Yu's place. After coming back, Lin Jing recalled the Divine Fire Triple Realm technique Elder Yu had given him the previous evening. So he took out the jade slip from his storage bag, opened it up, and sent his divine sense into it to start reading. However, as the afternoon passed, Lin Jing felt dizzy and still only had a half-baked understanding of the cultivation technique written inside. It seems that mastering this technique was not going to be easy. Because of the exertion in studying the technique, Lin Jing depleted his divine sense and needed to recover quickly. So afterward, Lin Jing resumed his meditation practice. Time passed, and a system prompt once again resounded within Lin Jing's mind. Ding! System prompt. System space upgrade complete. New functions unlocked. Hearing the system prompt, Lin Jing, who was meditating, immediately opened his eyes and looked out the window. Outside the window, it was pitch dark now, and even the moon above had disappeared. It appeared that Lin Jing had spent quite some time in meditation this time. Then, Lin Jing redirected his gaze from the window and said out loud, "Enter system space." As he spoke, the scene before Lin Jing instantly changed from night to day. Upon entering system space, he immediately sensed a difference. After the system upgrade, the spiritual energy inside the space was incredibly dense. Lin Jing could not help but inhale a deep breath greedily. The rich spiritual energy, substantial as it was, went straight through his nostrils and into his body. Lin Jing involuntarily circulated his cultivation technique to refine the spiritual energy that had entered him. This spiritual energy was extremely pure, and in just a short while, Lin Jing felt his cultivation had increased a bit. Although this increase might seem trivial. But don't forget, Lin Jing has a 5 elements mixed spiritual root, which makes his ability to absorb spiritual energy extremely poor. If someone else were to cultivate in the system space, that speed, I'm afraid, could only be described as terrifying. Afterward, Lin Jing gathered his thoughts. He directly summoned the system and opened the system panel. The new system panel information appeared before his eyes. System space, level 4. Remaining time, 162 hours. Accumulative, 400 hours. Host, Lin Jing. Spirit field range, 40 mu. Spiritual energy density, 4. Time flow speed, 4. Daily entry time, 8 hours. Upgrade requirements, 0/10,000 harvest points. Special functions, guard, observe, time accumulation, for seasons, environmental terrain, spirit plant repair, enhancement attachment. New feature, spiritual plant acceleration growth. Consumes harvest points, can accelerate the growth of spirit plants. The amount of harvest points consumed depends on the spirit plant's grade. Another new feature has arrived. This new feature seems pretty decent. Take, for example, the main ingredient for refining cultivation true elixir, the blood-red vermilion fruit, matures only once every 100 years. Even in the system space, with a 4-fold increase in time flow speed, it would still require 25 years in the outside world to mature. 25 years is indeed not a short time. At that rate, it's too slow. He would probably have already reached the pinnacle of the foundation establishment stage. But with this spiritual plant acceleration growth feature, it's possible to mature the spirit plants in advance. In that case, he would be able to prepare the cultivation true elixir earlier and possibly enter the golden core stage sooner. It's just not clear how many harvest points are needed to accelerate the growth of a spirit plant. In Lin Jing's opinion, he estimated that the required amount would be considerable. However, he currently doesn't have a single harvest point. He can only try it after collecting some harvest points later. Moreover, at present, he hasn't found the black soil needed to cultivate the blood-red vermilion fruit. Even if he had harvest points, Lin Jing wouldn't be able to accelerate the blood-red vermilion fruit's growth. Subsequently, Lin Jing set aside this matter. Next, Lin Jing reached out and clicked on his name on the system panel. As the information on the system panel changed, Lin Jing's details appeared before his eyes. Lin Jing, 26 of 300. Spiritual root, 5 elements mixed spirit root, low grade. Cultivation, foundation establishment second layer, 0%. Cultivation technique, Immortal 5 elements technique, Ling Jing imperial sword technique, third layer. Controlling fire technique, perfected, Ning's alchemy method. Suboccupation, third rank alchemist, 12676/30,000. During this time, there hasn't been much change in Lin Jing, except for his alchemy proficiency, which kept growing as he continuously practiced alchemy. Although Lin Jing hasn't personally refined a third-rank elixir medicine yet, the improvement in his alchemy proficiency has deepened his understanding of alchemy. Lin Jing felt that he could easily refine it if he were now faced with a furnace of second-rank elixir medicine. This might be one of the special features of the system. In the days that followed, Lin Jing visited Elder Yu every day, and like this, it continued for over half a year. Elder Yu taught Lin Jing all the knowledge he possessed. From Elder Yu, he truly learned a lot, and Elder Yu also passed on to him several third-rank elixir medicine formulas. Included among them were the necessary elixir medicine formulas, like the cultivation true elixir and yuan increasing elixir that Lin Jing needed most. Over the past half year, Nanshan Market has undergone tremendous changes. No, it should no longer be called Nanshan Market. It should now be called Nanshan Immortal City. After the results of the negotiations between Nanming Immortal Sect and Yiyun Pavilion with Qingyuan Sword Sect were out, all three sects unanimously decided to transform Nanshan Market into Nanshan Immortal City. Meanwhile, the three great sects also jointly issued an announcement. In the construction of Nanshan Immortal City, those families or forces that contributed will be granted by the three sects the privilege of early access to the demon race secret realm. This announcement set the entire Fong market abuzz. As a result, the various family factions began to stir into action. Naturally, there was still a small portion of families that, perhaps due to financial constraints or a reluctance to contribute too much, did not participate in the construction of Nanshan Immortal City. These families' members would not have the qualifications to enter the demon race secret realm. They could only wait until Nanshan Immortal City had been completely built and the entrance to the demon race secret realm was fully open to join the loose cultivators in entering. Under the concerted efforts of the various families, the construction of Nanshan Immortal City progressed very swiftly. In just 8 months, Nanshan Immortal City was almost completely constructed. The newly built Nanshan Immortal City was 10 times larger than the previous Nanshan Market. Although many people came to Nanshan Immortal City thereafter, it was not as crowded as before. Now Nanshan Immortal City was divided into an inner city and outer city. In the inner city resided the three sects and those families with exceptional strength. Lin Jing and his colleagues from Yubela, as offering priests, moved from the previous inner Fong market area to reside in the outer city area of Nanshan Immortal City. Huang Qingling did the same, moving to the outer city with Lin Jing. She could have lived in the inner city, but claiming it was too boring, she decided to move out with Lin Jing. Outside Nanshan Immortal City, many members of smaller families, as well as loose cultivators, lived in encampments. These people surrounded Immortal City, erecting dwellings around it and effectively encircling Nanshan Immortal City. The reason for this was because the news of the demon race secret realm had spread far and wide. Other families from farther away, or loose cultivators who heard the news, moved to this location. All of them wanted to enter the secret realm to explore. Perhaps, with some good fortune, they might find some rare treasures and obtain a great deal of resources for cultivation. In that case, one wouldn't have to toil daily, searching everywhere for cultivation resources. Moreover, according to information from the three sects, the demon race secret realm was immensely vast, and the spiritual energy inside was even more concentrated than that of an average Foundation establishment cultivator's cave residence. This made other people even more envious. The only pity was that the Nanshan market had not yet been completely constructed, and the demon race secret realm was not open to ordinary cultivators. However, Huang Qingling had managed to venture into it twice over the past half year. Lin Jing, on the other hand, due to his low level of cultivation and the limited number of slots for entering the secret realm, had not been able to enter even once until now. Although Lin Jing hadn't managed to go inside, he hadn't forgotten that his blood-red vermilion fruit still required the black soil from the secret realm to grow. Therefore, Lin Jing, on the pretext of studying the cultivation of spirit plants, asked Huang Qingling to bring some soil out of the secret realm for him. While Huang Qingling didn't understand, she still nodded and agreed. When she came out, she did bring some soil back. But when Huang Qingling handed the soil over to Lin Jing, he had a bad feeling about it, because the soil was not black. Despite this, he didn't act on his hunch, but instead took the soil into the system space to experiment. After the experiment, Lin Jing found that this kind of soil simply wouldn't work. With no choice, Lin Jing had to remind Huang Qingling again to bring back some soil from the area where spirit plants grew the next time she went in. And now, Huang Qingling's second exploration of the demon race secret realm had come to a prompt end. That day, Lin Jing was resting and meditating in his new courtyard. It was at that time when, thud, 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 a series of knocks on the door echoed. Startled by the knocking, Lin Jing opened his eyes. In this period, he interacted with others as sparingly as he always had, so it was rare for anyone to disturb him. It was probably Huang Qinling who had returned. Thinking this, Lin Jing got up and walked out of the house. Lin Jing's new courtyard was about the same size as his previous dwelling, consisting of 2 connected areas. He crossed the yard to the door and then reached out to open it. There at the entrance to the courtyard stood Huang Qinling. Next to Huang Qinling was Li Qingqing. As soon as Huang Qinling saw Lin Jing, she pulled out a package from her storage bag and handed it over. "Here, the thing you wanted," Huang Qinling said. Li Qingqing was very curious upon seeing this package and hurriedly leaned in to ask, "What is it so mysterious?" Clearly, Li Qingqing had no idea about the task Lin Jing had entrusted to Huang Qinling. Huang Qinling looked at Li Qingqing with interest, chuckling with a hee, saying, "This is some good stuff. Do you want some? I could give you a little too. Are you giving it to me?" Li Qingqing pointed at herself, her face full of skepticism. Of course, this treasure came from inside the demon race secret realm. Li Qingqing's eyes crinkled with a smile, and then she said directly, "Want it, of course I do. How can I not accept something given by Qingling? All right, wait." As she spoke, Huang Qinling once again opened her storage bag and reached inside. It didn't take long before she pulled out another package. "Come on, hand out, catch." Upon saying that, Huang Qinling hung the package on the hand that Li Qingqing had just stretched out. However, the package was not light. Completely unprepared, Li Qingqing let the package drop right down. Li Qingqing was immediately startled. She quickly extended her other hand and just managed to catch the falling package by the skin of her teeth. Only after safely securing the package in her hand did she let out a long sigh of relief. Thank goodness it didn't fall. Then, she turned her head and complained to Huang Qinling. "Qinling, really, you should have warned me. What if it had broken, what then?" After saying that, Li Qingqing patted the package a few times. From inside the package, a delicate sensation came through, and it also had a granular feeling to it. "What's inside here?" As she spoke, Li Qingqing began to open the package. "Just look and you'll see," said Huang Qinling. Soon, Li Qingqing had the package open. The moment the package was opened, Li Qingqing was stunned and stood frozen. A moment later, the reacting Li Qingqing, as if in disbelief, reached in and grabbed a handful. Then she could not help but laugh and cry. "Is this the treasure you mentioned? Isn't this just soil? It's everywhere." Li Qingqing looked at Huang Qinling speechlessly. "Yes, it's soil," said Huang Qinling matter-of-factly. "Moreover, this is soil from the demon race secret realm, which may not mean much to us. But for Lin Jing, it's a treasure, because he can't get into the secret realm." Hearing Huang Qingling's explanation, Li Qingqing was even more speechless. Meanwhile, Lin Jing had also opened the package in his hands. Inside it, too, was soil that Huang Qinling had brought out from the demon race secret realm. "You have no idea. I almost got deemed a fool for trying to bring this soil out. Even Old Man Bai thought I had a nerve breakdown and showed concern for me for once in a blue moon. My face is completely lost," complained Huang Qinling with a dark face. "Ha ha, I can imagine." Li Qingqing was laughing so hard at the side that she was bending over backwards. "Lin Jing, you better compensate me. Cook me a few delicious meals," said Huang Qinling with a pitiful look to Lin Jing. "Don't worry, I will definitely compensate you." Lin Jing nodded in response. Afterward, Lin Jing retied the bundle of soil and put it away. This soil wasn't black, but rather a dark red color. During this time, Lin Jing also grabbed a handful and sniffed it. From the fragrance emitted by the soil, Lin Jing felt that this soil wasn't much different from the yellow soil Huang Qinling had brought back last time. He just didn't know whether this dark red soil could be used. Honestly, Lin Jing had no confidence in it. He could only wait until he had some free time to try it out in the system space. After putting the package away, Lin Jing looked at Qing Ling and said, "Qing Ling, what would you like to eat? I'll cook it for you." As soon as Lin Jing finished speaking, Li Qingqing hurriedly said to Lin Jing, "Maybe not today. Qing Ling and I came over together to find you." Lin Jing looked at Li Qingqing in confusion and asked, "To find me? May I know what matter brings you here?" Qing. Lin Jing, you've misunderstood." Li Qingqing shook her head and then continued, "It's my grandfather. One of my grandfather's friends has come to visit him at our house, and this friend brought along a junior from his family. My grandfather asked us to take that friend's family junior around Nanshan, Immortal City. My brother said that today at noon he's hosting a table at the drunken Immortal Pavilion, and he wanted me to invite you and Qing Ling to come along, so we can all get to know each other. So, if you were planning to cook, Lin Jing, let's leave it for another day." After listening, Lin Jing furrowed his brow slightly, hesitating. "If I go, wouldn't it be somewhat inappropriate? After all, that is the junior of a good friend of your grandfather." Li Qingqing quickly said, "How is it inappropriate? It's most suitable for you to go. My brother even specifically told me to invite you. That person is a pill master too, and although younger than my brother, they are already a third-grade pill master. In terms of talent in the Alchemy Dao, they are not inferior to my brother. You're a pill master as well, so wouldn't it be nice for the three of you to exchange ideas?" Also being a third-grade pill master, Lin Jing was somewhat surprised, then thought of the other person's elder, who was a friend of the Li family patriarch, and then he understood. If I'm not wrong, he must be from an Alchemy Dao family, right? Li Qingqing nodded repeatedly. "Lin Jing, you're really clever. Yes, her family is also an Alchemy Dao family." Lin Jing nodded in agreement. No wonder she's already a third-grade pill master at such a young age. Then, Lin Jing let out a wry smile and said, "However, Qing, you think too highly of me. Your brother and the junior of your grandfather's friend are both third-grade pill masters. But I'm only a second-grade pill master. In their company, I wouldn't be able to contribute much to the conversation. At most, I'd just get lectured." After hearing this, Li Qingqing burst out laughing. "Haha, Lin Jing, being lectured is also good, right? At the very least, you could learn quite a lot of good things. What's the harm in being educated by them? After all, it's not a loss. Besides, she is an exceptional beauty. If she educates you, you should just count yourself lucky." Lin Jing was somewhat astonished and asked again for confirmation. "A woman?" Li Qingqing nodded and said, "Yes. Lin Jing, when you go, you must take a good look. She's very beautiful and also has a very graceful demeanor. Even I'm quite envious when I look at her. What do you take me for?" Lin Jing looked at Li Qingqing, utterly speechless. Huang Qingling suddenly interjected at this moment. "A third-rank pill master younger than your brother, and a woman at that. Qing, now that you mention it, I'm quite intrigued. I'm curious to see what she actually looks like. Qing, when do we set off?" Li Qingqing thought for a moment, then said, "Let's go now. My brother and the rest are probably still taking her around. By the time we get there from here, it'll be almost noon. We can just head straight for the drunken Immortal Pavilion." Huang Qingling nodded in response. "Good, let's set off right now." Following that, Lin Jing closed the courtyard door and, along with Li Qingqing and Huang Qingling, headed towards the drunken Immortal Pavilion. The drunken Immortal Pavilion was still in the inner Fong Market, which is the inner city of the new Nanshan Immortal City. Although it was not close to the outer city, the cultivation of the few of them was not low either. Even if Lin Jing rushed on his journey with the cultivation of Qi Refinement Level 8, his speed was not slow. That's right, the current Lin Jing had once again raised the cultivation level he displayed to others by 1 level. To others, he now appeared to be at Qi Refinement Level 8. But in reality, Lin Jing had already reached the cultivation of Foundation Establishment Level 3. Moreover, it probably wouldn't be long before he could advance to the mid-stage of Foundation Establishment. Of course, all of this was thanks to the system space. With the system space now at Level 4, The concentration of spiritual energy inside was so rich that even with Lin Jing's 5 elements mixed spirit root aptitude, his cultivation speed was extremely fast. Add to that the fact that he now had 8 hours a day to enter the system space, which when converted to the time flow rate within the system space, was 32 hours each day. In other words, his one day was equivalent to twice that of others. With this, whether he was practicing alchemy or cultivating, he had plenty of time. Moreover, occasionally, Lin Jing would also take the unguiled gathering yuan pill to improve his cultivation. Hence, over the past half a year, Lin Jing's cultivation speed had soared, and his cultivation was rising rapidly. It was even faster than Huang Qingling's, who had a dual attribute spiritual root. Furthermore, this was after he had already consolidated his foundation, so he had no worries about his foundation being unstable due to the rapid advancement. Just like that, the 3 took just over half an hour to reach the drunken Immortal Pavilion. As the precious gem of the Li family, Li Qingqing was naturally recognized by the attendants of drunken Immortal Pavilion. As soon as the 3 arrived, a servant approached and said to Li Qingqing, "Miss Qingqing, Master Li has ordered that as soon as you and your party arrive, I am to take you to the private room. This way, please." After speaking, the servant gestured with a hand, guiding the 3 upstairs. Under the servant's guidance, Lin Jing and the others made their way upward. Reaching the 3rd floor, the 3, led by the servant, passed through the hall to the private rooms. Then, the servant stopped, pointed to the innermost private room, and said, "Master Li's private room is right there. I should not intrude. Please go ahead on your own. Farewell." With that, he turned and left the place. After the servant left, the 3 made their way to the private room he had pointed out. They hadn't yet reached the door. Lin Jing heard voices talking inside the private room. "Master Li, I know that your Li family has considerable influence in Nanshan, Immortal City. I have a favor to ask of you, Master Li." The voice sounded pleasant, yet Lin Jing felt an eerily familiar sensation. Hearing the voice, Li Qingqing and Huang Qingling, walking ahead of Lin Jing, noticeably slowed their pace. Probably they wanted to eavesdrop on the conversation between the 2 inside, and Lin Jing, trailing behind them, also slowed down his steps along with them. "Miss Ning, please speak. If you are in any trouble, I will do my best to help." Only to hear the person addressed as Miss Ning continue. "I would like to ask Master Li to help me find someone." Li Tongyu spoke up again. "May I ask who Miss Ning is looking to find?" As Li Tongyu's voice fell, the woman named Ning blurted out 2 words. "Lin Jing." These 2 characters also entered the ears of Lin Jing and the other 2. Walking at the very front, Huang Qingling and Li Qingqing heard the words coming from inside. They suddenly turned around, looking at Lin Jing in disbelief. The 2 could not understand why the unparalleled beauty mentioned by Li Qingqing was looking for Lin Jing. Could it be a case of people having the same name? At that moment, the same thoughts surfaced in the minds of Huang Qingling and Li Qingqing. In their view, Lin Jing was always at home, either cultivating or refining pills, never stepping outside his door, let alone wandering far. How could he possibly know this person? Moreover, even those who were closest to Lin Jing had no knowledge of this. At this point, Lin Jing also knew who the so-called unparalleled beauty mentioned by Li Qingqing was. Ningyu. Unexpectedly, she had come to Nanshan Market again. No, to Nanshan Immortal City. And no wonder, she was an alchemist younger than Li Tongyu by a few years. Lin Jing distinctly remembered. When Wei Zhengqing was injured, Ningyu refined a pure healing elixir for him. Back then, she had said, she had a premonition and was about to break through to become a 3rd-grade alchemist. Now, after such a long time, it isn't strange for her to have become a 3rd-grade alchemist. It must be someone with the same name. Li Qingqing gave Lin Jing a thorough once-over and then turned her head to whisper to Huang Qingling. Hearing this, Huang Qingling also scrutinized Lin Jing before nodding emphatically. Clearly, neither of them believed that Lin Jing could know the unparalleled beauty inside. However, their voices, though soft, were still overheard by Li Tongyu in the private room. Qingqing is here, come in. I wonder if you have invited Brother Lin? Li Tangyu's voice came from inside the room. Upon hearing this, Li Qingqing playfully winked at Lin Jing. Then Li Qingqing called out to Li Tangyu inside the booth. Brother, I've already invited Brother Lin Jing. After saying this, Li Qingqing turned and shared a smile with Huang Qingling. Soon after, both of them approached the door of the private room and pushed it open. Why just the two of you? Where's Brother Lin? Lin Jing was still behind them at this time, so Li Tangyu inside the room hadn't seen Lin Jing. He's at the back. ReadNovel.com. Li Qingqing said with a smile. Hearing the conversation, Ningyu showed a look of surprise and promptly asked, Did you just say, Brother Lin Jing? Yes, Brother Lin Jing. Li Qingqing replied to Ningyu. Lin Jing knew that Li Qingqing was definitely doing this on purpose. At this moment, to avoid any misunderstanding, Li Tangyu quickly spoke up to explain. Miss Ning, I have a friend who is also named Lin Jing, but I don't know if he is the same person you're looking for. And he's also an alchemist. I was thinking of introducing you two to each other. No sooner had Li Tangyu finished speaking than Lin Jing appeared at the doorway of the private room. Fellow Taoist Ning, it's been a long time, Lin Jing said, smiling at Ningyu. At this moment, Ningyu did not disguise herself at all, revealing her true appearance. She was as beautiful as ever, although Lin Jing had only seen her true face a few times. He could still recognize her clear and graceful features at a glance upon seeing her again. Even with some mental preparation, Lin Jing's words still left Li Qingqing and Huang Qingling feeling somewhat incredulous. At that moment, even Li Tangyu was momentarily stunned. Lin Jing, it's really you. Ningyu's face also revealed a smile. It's been a long time. Then, Li Tangyu was the first to snap out of it and said in disbelief, Brother Lin, I didn't expect you to actually know Miss Ning. I thought it was just someone with the same name. Following that, Li Tangyu swiftly gestured to them. Come, have a seat. And you two stop standing there slack-jawed, come sit down. It wasn't until Li Tangyu called out that Li Qingqing and Huang Qingling snapped back to reality. The two of them looked at Lin Jing with a very strange gaze. Then, they turned their eyes toward Ningyu. At this moment, they racked their brains but couldn't figure out why Lin Jing would know Ningyu. After all, whether in terms of cultivation or family background, there was a huge gap between them. It could even be said that they were from two different worlds. Next, Li Tangyu began to make the introductions. He started with Li Qingqing. This is my younger sister. Miss Ning has met her before, so no need to reintroduce. Then he pointed to Huang Qingling. This young lady here is Elder Bai from Yubeila's niece, Huang Qingling. And Lin Jing, Brother Lin. Since you two are old acquaintances, my introductions would be redundant. Having said that, he began introducing Ningyu to everyone. This is Ningyu from the Ning family of Linxian City. The Ning family in Linxian City is quite renowned, just like our Li family. They're also a long-standing Dan Dao family. All right, please take your seats. Then everyone sat down. At this time, Li Tangyu spoke up and asked Lin Jing, Brother Lin, I'm very curious. How did you meet Miss Ning? Lin Jing turned his head to look at Ningyu. Ningyu nodded slightly. Then, Lin Jing turned back and said to Li Tangyu, Miss Ning and I were neighbors back at Fong Market. And, well, if we're being honest, Miss Ning could be considered half a master on my journey of alchemy. Ningyu suddenly spoke up, saying, Actually, I didn't really teach you anything. It was you who helped me a lot. Miss Ning is being too modest. If it weren't for your help in fixing the alchemy manual, I fear I would have run into financial trouble early on in my alchemy career and given up on the art of alchemy. After finishing, Lin Jing suddenly remembered something. Then he asked Ningyu, Miss Ning, you've come here, so? What about Luo? Did she not come with you? Ningyu spoke up. Luo is practicing with her master. Cultivating. Lin Jing looked puzzled and asked Ningyu, Isn't it that Luo has no spiritual root and can't cultivate? Ningyu replied, clarifying, Actually, we've been mistaken all along. Turns out Luo doesn't lack a spiritual root. Instead, she possesses a hidden spirit root that isn't usually evident. That's why we got it wrong. Fortunately, We met a master who recognized Luo Luo's hidden spirit root and accepted Luo Luo as a disciple, taking her away. Ning, you said this with a tone full of satisfaction. Are you saying Luo Luo actually has a spiritual root and can cultivate? Lin Jing's eyes widened as he spoke. Yes, Ning nodded. And the senior who took Luo Luo away mentioned that her aptitude is likely to be exceptional. That's wonderful. Now Miss Ning can rest assured. Lin Jing felt truly happy that Luo Luo could cultivate. The conversation between Lin Jing and Ning Yu left Li Tongyu and his sister somewhat befuddled. Only Huang Qingling had a vague idea of what was going on, though she didn't dare to confirm it. Who is Luo Luo? At this point, Li Qingqing asked, puzzled. Luo Luo is my daughter, Ning Yu said candidly. However, this revelation was like an earthquake, astonishing both Li Tongyu and his sister. Ning, Miss Ning, you're married? Li Tongyu said with disbelief, stuttering. And even have a child? Li Qingqing was just as shocked and added her comment. Yes, Ning Yu answered. So you're Luo Luo's mother. Huang Qingling suddenly realized. Have you heard of me? Ning Yu turned her head, asking Huang Qingling. Huang Qingling directly replied. I've heard some things about Luo Luo from Lin Jing. That girl Luo Luo. Seeing Huang Qingling intended to continue, Lin Jing hastily interjected, saying, Previously, didn't I take Luo Luo to meet Elder Yu? Qingling, my fellow Taoist, is acquainted with Elder Yu, and it was during a gathering that we chanced to mention Luo Luo. Ning Yu thought for a moment, then spoke. You're talking about the Elder Yu from Yubale, right? Yes. Lin Jing nodded. No wonder. Ning Yu opened with a smile, saying, Luo Luo also told me about this matter. Indeed, that little girl Luo Luo is quite endearing. Lin Jing said with a smile. Seeing the change of subject was very successful, Lin Jing also breathed a sigh of relief. The reason Lin Jing did so was that this matter was related to Lu Yiyuan. To avoid bringing up Lu Yiyuan and reminding Ning Yu of those past events, Lin Jing had interrupted Huang Qingling, and Huang Qingling, seemingly aware of Lin Jing's intentions, tactfully did not continue. Speaking of Lu Yiyuan, Lin Jing had not seen him since that last incident. He seemed to have vanished from the face of the earth. By contrast, Wu Kai Immortal, along with the other members of the Lu clan, had ventured a few times into the demon race secret realm. This was something Huang Qingling had told him. However, now Elder Bai and Elder Yu were here, so it seemed that Lu Yiyuan wouldn't dare to make any more moves. For this reason, Lin Jing hadn't made any further inquiries into the Lu clan. As long as Lu Yiyuan wasn't thinking of confronting him, Lin Jing was not inclined to provoke him for the time being. Then, Lin Jing gathered his thoughts and once again shifted the conversation. All right, fellow Taoist Ning, we're Brother Wei and Brother Yin. Have they arrived? I haven't seen them in a long time, and I wonder how they are doing. The Brother Wei and Brother Yin that Lin Jing referred to were naturally Wei Zhengqing and Yin Xiong. They had left with Ning Yu, and to date, there had been no word from either of them, leaving their current status a mystery. Ning Yu responded, Zhengqing and Yin Xiong. They initially escorted me back to Linxian City. Then, with their help, I managed to overcome various obstacles to meet with the family ancestor and gain the ancestor support. After seeing me settle my position in the family, they left. The two said they wanted to make their way in other places. Until now, I've had no news from either of them, so I also don't know where they have gone. I see. The opening of the demon race secret realm had come, and Lin Jing couldn't help feeling regretful that Wei Zhengqing and the others hadn't come. At that moment, there was a knock at the door. Young Master Li, your ordered dishes have arrived. Li Tongyu then spoke. Come in. Following that, the door opened and several servants entered the private room, carrying trays. The trays held a variety of exquisite dishes. The servants set the fine delicacies on the table. Then, the leading servant spoke to Li Tongyu. Young Master Li, the dishes you ordered are all served. Please enjoy. After speaking, the servants then left the private room. Come on. Li Tongyu stood up, addressing everyone. The dishes are ready. Please help yourselves. As Li Tongyu's words fell, The banquet officially began. After the wine had passed around 3 times, Li Tongyu spoke again, addressing Ningyu. Miss Ning, does your Ning family have plans to relocate to Nanshan, Immortal City? Ningyu shook her head and said, our visit this time is just to deal with some matters. As for moving the entire clan, we currently have no such plans. Li Tongyu nodded and then continued to ask, right, Miss Ning, today when your Ning family's ancestor and my grandfather were chatting, I passed by and overheard some things. Are you looking for an expert in spirit plant cultivation? Ningyu nodded and replied, yes. Upon hearing this, Lin Jing set down his chopsticks and looked at Ningyu. Although Lin Jing was not an expert in spirit plant cultivation, he had the system space at his disposal. In the system space, even damaged spirit plants could be restored. What spirit plant then wouldn't thrive under his care? In that regard, Lin Jing was actually that expert in spirit plant cultivation. Li Tongyu watched Ningyu and continued to ask, as far as I know, your Ning family, being a family of Alchemy Dao, should also be experts in spirit plant cultivation, right? If even you are seeking such a remarkable person, could it be that you've encountered some trouble that even your Ning family cannot resolve? Ningyu furrowed her brows, thought for a moment with her head down, and then spoke. Indeed, we have run into some trouble. Seeing Ningyu's expression, Lin Jing guessed that the trouble must be significant, so he asked, fellow Taoist Ning, what trouble has your family encountered? Can you share some details? Maybe we can also think of some ways to help. Ningyu looked up at Lin Jing, whose eyes were full of concern. At that moment, Ningyu thought back to when the demonic beast raged and the flame-poisoned centipede had been just inches away. A warmth filled her heart, and she sighed lightly. Although not many people know about this matter, it's not a secret either. There's no harm in telling you about it. Everyone looked at Ningyu, waiting for her to speak. Do you know about the Yun family from Linxian City? Ningyu began, then looked at the group. At that moment, Li Tongyu said, the Yun family? Of course we know. The Yun family is Linxian City's largest clan, boasting 3 golden core immortals amongst them, with the Yun family's ancestor himself being at the peak of golden core cultivation. Moreover, there are rumors that the Yun family's ancestor has surpassed the peak of golden core and reached half-step nascent soul realm. It's just that no one knows whether this rumor is true or false. And also, the Yun family has close ties with Nanming Immortal sect, and that Yun family's ancestor is an honorary elder of the sect. After hearing this, Ningyu nodded. Li Dao's friend's words are correct. The reality is indeed so. Could it be that the problem your Ning family is facing has something to do with the Yun family? Li Tongyu asked with knit brows, knowing that if it were related to the Yun family, the situation could be quite serious. That's right, Ningyu replied. Li Tongyu was very puzzled and inquired. Your Ning family has also been in Linxian City for quite some time. How could you suddenly provoke the Yun family? At this point, Ningyu's expression became serious, clearly holding back anger. Misfortune has befallen our household. Someone wishes to vie for the position of the family head, attempting to bring disaster into our midst by borrowing outsiders' strength to seize the title. So that's the situation. Li Tongyu's frown deepened, clearly aware of the entanglement with the Yun family and how troublesome it was. Can you elaborate on that? Lin Jing chimed in at this point. Li Tongyu also echoed. Miss Ning, please clarify if you could. Knowing the specifics, we might be able to help you come up with some strategies. All right. Then, Ningyu began to tell her story. This matter has to start with my return to the clan.